It gives me great pleasure to once again stand here in front of you, and I do so in three separate capacities. First and foremost, as Carol just told you, I am here as a long-standing director of many years of the Garvan Research Foundation. I'm also here as a partner for the future. And thirdly and lastly, I'm here, the author of The Hidden Genes of Professor K, and I would like to tell you a few things about that. I thought maybe I can, in some ways, contribute to what Garvan stands for and what it does with my writing. Well, I'm a thriller writer. I write thrillers for the thinking reader, and you may well ask, well, how can that be? How can you do this? I asked myself the same question. And there was a moment of inspiration a couple of years ago, and it came in two ways. Professor Matic said something that is etched in the back of my brain. I have never forgotten. He said this: we are the last generation to die of cancer because everyone coming after us will die with cancer. So once you pause and step back and think about this, this is an extraordinary statement to make by someone in his capacity and his knowledge. If we are really in this position, that there is this massive breakthrough possible in our time, that is really something extraordinary. That was the first point of inspiration for the book. The second was a more practical one. It came when Garvan acquired one of the most extraordinary machines in the world today. It is the Illumina X10 genome sequencing machine, which incidentally is a few meters away from where we are sitting. It's working right now, doing what it is doing, sequencing the genome, the human genome. Something that a few years ago took $1 billion to do, can today be done for perhaps $1,200, $1,300. That was the second part that inspired me. And then I thought, what could I do as a thriller writer to perhaps spread the awareness of this extraordinary situation, these extraordinary times that we are traveling through? And I thought of a way of doing this. And I thought, how about writing a medical thriller? Creating something exciting and engaging and disguising the complex science underpinning it all and sugarcoating it with action and interesting characters, exotic locations, and making it easy to follow and to understand. And that is what I've endeavored to do. But as soon as I started to really get into it, I knew I couldn't do this by myself. The science is extraordinarily difficult, and for a layman like myself, to master this was a big task. Then I got lucky. Professor Susan Clark, one of our leading scientists in genomics, came to the rescue of the struggling author and extended a helping hand, and she said, look, don't worry, I'll look over your shoulder and I'll help you with the science. And then very soon thereafter, her husband, Peter Malloy, said, I'll help you too. And between them, they made it possible for me to master the complex science and then understanding it, transforming it into a book that is possible to be read by the layperson, so that you are reading about these complex topics and this complex science without being aware of it. And by the end, if I've done my job correctly, you will know about RNAs and DNAs and genome sequencing, and you will know about methylation, and you will know about all these things, but in a normal, acceptable form, without being lost in the science, which is so detailed and complex. So that was the task, and that was the challenge which I set myself. And after a long struggle, here is the book. The book, obviously, as you've just heard, was inspired by Garvan. That's already clear. Because of my position on the board, I've been privileged enough to get to know the scientists here very intimately and in great detail. I see what they do day to day. I understand how they do it. The extraordinary dedication and the brain power in this building is absolutely awesome. And with the help of Professor Clark and several others, it was possible for me to get on top of the science and then introduce it into what I hope is an engaging and page-turning read. And that you enjoy it as much as I have enjoyed writing it. Merry Christmas.